Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Banished. We're playing the Colonial Charter mod, version 1.6 of Forge Awakens, in our very cluttered town of Ramlington. And I zoomed in on this scene here to start with, because I noticed something between these houses over here. Someone has apparently set down some eggs, and the graphic of eggs when they're not in someone's pocket is a bird's nest. So, the ducks are right over here. Or are they here? No, the ducks are in this one. There we are. Ducks, we've got 14 of 26 right now. And for some reason, either some eggs got dropped there, or we'll just say that these ducks have made a home between those houses. Bunch of things I pulled up on the screen to kind of do some quick maintenance before we get going. Let's see, where do I want to start? First of all, the tailor got finished, and I want to upgrade that one to the clothier, which, let's see, upgrade for better clothing options. Okay, so we're going to get that one going so it doesn't get forgotten about. That one's over, right over in this area. That is this one. Yeah, so this is our tailor here. And actually, you know what? Let's not. Set this one for wool. Let's make this one the upgraded one. Let's upgrade this one instead. This is kind of an outlying one versus the core right here. Maybe we'll put all the upgraded ones together of these various buildings. I don't know if the Weaver has an upgrade. No, they don't. But this will be our core right here. Whether this one stays or gets moved over into the city later, we'll figure that one out later. What else? Well, I had a comment from Lady Shell that brought something up that I had never thought of before with this mod. You know, butchers are new to, or belong to Colonial Charter. They're not part of the Banished vanilla. And when we get, like, we'll say, beef cows in, when we get more than enough so that they start butchering, they'll butcher and bring the beef. Well, they'll probably bring it to storage. Then from storage, the butcher will grab it and bring it over and make different chops and sausage and what have you. The sheep is right here. You can see some mutton has been brought in, and these will be made out of the mutton. And I didn't realize that not only that these sell for more than the original meat. I was complaining a few episodes ago, in fact I have probably a couple of episodes, that meat should sell for more than something like roots and berries. And through the butcher, it does. So we'll take a good look at our markets later and move the one valued meats out and move the better quality meats in, because they'll sell for more. But I figured that when we get enough pigs, we only have 6 of 28, we'll then turn on the pig butcher, and when we get enough deer, we have 6 of 28, we'll turn on the deer butcher. We'll go ahead and build one. But she brought up a point that I'd never thought of before. We already have deer. We had them from the very beginning of the game. They're coming out of the hunter, who's been making all kinds of venison from the deer. So from the very beginning of the game, we could have put in a deer butcher and have been profiting from a more expensive cut. I don't know if they make jerky or just what it is that comes out of the deer, but that's, a more valuable version of venison. So I turn the game on and make sure that we get that butcher going. So food, butcher. In my mind, these are what you do to your herd, your domesticated animals. I hadn't thought about using it for wild animals before. So that's something new for me. In fact, let's get that one a little more of a priority. I don't think we have any real priorities going on right now. The trading post merchant came in. Statue carver just finished. Now let me speed that guy up so we can get that done, so we can see, hopefully this episode, the results of that. I'm going to pause again, or at least I'm going to turn it down to speed 1 so I can talk, and yet the game can still be running without missing too much. merchant only stays in there for at the trader for so long. Here's our plantations. We've got cotton, which looks like milk, and we've got tulips, which look like raspberries in here. The orchards will make various, for all the different crops that are not replanted every year. This one, white mulberry, is surrounded by a green square saying it's a non-food, it's a non-edible. And the idea was brought up that this should maybe be planted in a plantation meant for those, so that it doesn't count against food, like the olives and the chestnuts. Oh, we have 2 mulberries. No, that's olives, chestnuts, mulberries, and coffee. There we go. Like the other ones will. But I wasn't sure that you could put trees in plantations. And looking down the list here, you cannot. There's no upgrade available to make this a different kind of plantation. So the plantations are just substitutes for the crop fields. There's no way to put trees in here. At least there's no white mulberry showing up in the list. So it's meant for crops. But that's the concept, though, that anything that is a non-food should be grown in a plantation. But it turns out only if it is naturally a crop field sort of item. But if I was going to turn off a laborer, right now we're sitting pretty good on labor, but if I was going to turn off a laborer, I think it would make most sense to turn off the the mulberries, because we're not really using them yet. We haven't found the other 4 silkworm eggs, which hasn't really been that much of a concern to me. It's really just becoming a familiar item in the corner that if it ever went away, I would feel like we lost a friend. This has been here for quite some time. So plantations are doing fine. We've got these guys turned off right now. We could actually turn some back on. We're doing good on labor. Food is still floating in the the 15 to 18,000 range. No matter how much I seem to sell at the trader, it seems to be doing just fine. So food is not something I've really worried too much about. We just pop one in once in a while, and I always just kind of seem to stay ahead of the curve, at least a little bit. No stress, no worries. But we could turn cabbage. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pop in 2 more farmers and turn on cabbage. No, what do I want? Stop that. I want the work. And the work on rock melons. So we'll turn these back on for a year at least, until we find that labor's starting to die off again. But we've got 27 in the schools, so we're going to have a big crop of laborers come out soon. Statue carver. There. And there's a few other question marks we got to decide what's going on with. I want to kind of work my way through the buildings here at the beginning and just make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So we brought in a big load, which should be sitting here, of marble. It is not. I would have thought marble would be a material. Is it a stone? It's not a stone. Is it still sitting in the trader? Marble. Not in the trader. There's a 0. That always is distracting to me. That 0 is next to mulberry leaves. This 0 should be right here. Or right here. I always mess up when I see 1,500 mushrooms. I think that's how many are here. This belongs to this one. So that gets kind of confusing for me. But it's not there. So where did we put the marble? What's in here? Is that new? No, that's just snow-covered bricks. And snow-covered furniture. That is neat that they drew a snow-covered version of some of these. I like that. A little attention to detail there. So where else would you put marble? Okay, came out of this trader. So I would have thought either this warehouse or this stockpile. There is another stockpile that's closer, right here. No marble there. And just make sure I maybe just didn't recognize the graphic, but no marble there. We do still have it in the economy, right? Marble, 500 of it. Who swiped the marble? Point is, I was going to start marble. Okay. Here. I'm going to start marble statues. But I wanted to kind of show the marble. We haven't turned this one on, so there should be nothing here. Unless people are just dropping off on their own. Okay. So, what is left? We've got another storehouse over here. Too bad I can't go here, find marble, and click on it and have it lead me to it. There's an improvement to the game I would love to see. Here, this one's not available. We have storage here. Marble, that's where it went. Okay, so let's remember this guy. If we dump something out of the trader, that is the closest place that qualifies for pretty much everything. There's very little that doesn't get dropped into here. Stone and iron ore might be the only things that I can remember that don't go into a storage barn. Most everything else, even logs will... Well, no, I take that back. Logs will drop into the market because they go to get it, but they wouldn't drop the logs in here. Okay, so there's our marble. So statue carver can use logs, stone, jade, and marble. So let's run this guy making marble statues. There we go. And just kind of keep an eye on that. Is there a way to use the statues? I actually don't think there is. No way to build them into the scenery. If there is, let me know. The only way I can think of using them is to come over to decorations and find statues. And, drop a marble statue is here. And if you hit the F, no, you just get the one statue. Looks like a naked dude. So, don't know of a way that we can use the statues other than trading. So if that's truly the case, then we'll wait for a little bit for them to hit a normal storage. Where would you think decorations would go? Would they land in the warehouse at all? Or would they land probably in here? Well, we'll go out and find them after they make a few of them. Click on them, see what it looks like, and what is the result, and then we'll decide what to do with them. So we got the deer butcher going. Fishing dock just showed up. And statue carver, I think we'll remember to go back and look at him. Let's stick, another, where am I? Here I am. Another 2 people out there for fishing. Though I see, well, okay, one of those 2 did show up. There was already one here. So I added 2 and 1 came into here. I'm not forcing them to go to a certain one on the fishing. I'm just going to let them grab whatever job that is closest to an available house, and we'll go with that. But before I kick the game speed up, I want to kind of travel all of these question marks, all of these markings, and see if there isn't something that I've just been blind to for the last several episodes. So an apothecary is still waiting for cloth. Cloth is coming out of cotton here, which has been picked up, dropped into here, and cotton then goes to a weaver, which is waiting for labor. So there's something that's ready to get turned on. So let's get one weaver in, and he went to the other one, didn't he? Yep. So we're going to have to unwork this one. And now we've got him working here, 1 of 1. And he is going to grab all the cotton and make, not rugs, make cloth. There we go. Glad I checked that. I must have been talking about some time back all the different things you can do and ended up just absent-mindedly landing on that. That's hard to say. So, cloth cotton. That's kind of like at the very beginning of the first Banished episode or series that I did. talking about the difference between valleys and mountains, and then not thinking about it and clicking on mountains when I thought I clicked on valleys. And then I got to do that whole series on a mountain map when I really had planned on doing a valley map. So, cotton, cloth, do it. So, cotton's going to come in. We're going to turn this into cloth. Cloth is going to get used in this guy, and it's going to get used in this guy. I think I'm going to go ahead and hire the labor now. Which still blows me away that apothecary doesn't share a job profession with either herbalists or doctors. I would think that that would all be one group. If you've got so many other, blacksmith shares with the forge and all the other ones, I would think that this would be a no-brainer. This would all be the same profession. So that kind of surprised me when it was, the way it was set up. So we, just to verify, cloth and bone meal and honey will make healing poultices. Okay. That's done. We have a trader rolling in. We had another trader over here we never dealt with. Let's get that done. Alright, we're buying refined items. Now, something I wanted to play with here. The thought, or the suggestion came across to actively search out and buy silkworm eggs rather than just waiting for it to happen at random. And we may as well. I've never really bought before. I've always just played under the philosophy it's what's going to come is going to come. And there, especially in Colonial Banished, there are so many other things to be doing. I don't need to sit here and tap my feet and pace and wait for that guy to show up, because there's the coal industry we haven't worked on yet, and the bundling for the fire bundles, and there's probably 20 different trees that we have not even touched yet, of multiple branches to get different industries going. So that hasn't been something that I've been worried about, but I would like to learn how to do that. So I want to verify that we have to wait for a very specific type coming in, or can you just put in a request in generically, and when that type of vendor shows up, he will show up with it. So I want to explore that a little bit. Anyway, we have D'Angela the planter, and we've got Darylyn the green grocer. And one thing I like to do with the grocer is to convert excesses that I've got into variety that I don't have, so that we can just keep a good variety for folks. And it's just kind of neat to click on a house and see, not this one, click on a house and see a nice variety of items that are in. What is with these folks? They are too busy to go and get anything but fish. Maybe they're fishermen. Shoreman, student, woodcutter, trader. Maybe someone died just recently and this family only just moved in. But apparently they are out of the range of any kind of a village center, of a this guy, small market. So all the houses that are in range of the small market will have a good variety in their homes, because they've got access to all kinds of, they're proving me wrong here too. That's the way it's supposed to work. They're just too busy to come and, you want your people to have all 5 food groups. You want meat in here, and you want, the whole variety. We do have fruit and vegetables, essentially. So, why is it? It's because we don't have any meat in here. I'm not seeing any. Scroll down a little bit here. There's no meat available in this small market. Why is that? Is it because there's only one person working it, and so they only get to go a certain distance? That's curious. Let's, for at least a temporary time, let's put a second vendor in here and see if we are 2 clicks down. See if there's more than 2 clicks worth of extra variety next time we pop in here. Anyway, variety is where I was at. And I'm keeping it on speed 1 for a little bit longer on purpose, so I can talk and not feel like I'm missing something when all these buildings are popping over here, and there's too much happening in the background. So if we were to sort our town's inventory by quantity, we've got a lot of beeswax, which we don't want to touch, because one of these episodes we're actually going to get a chandelier built. We have lots of roots, beans, tulips, cucumbers, feathers, coffee beans, chestnuts. So there's quite a few that we can get rid of in exchange. Roots are a big one. We got quite a few. If we were to take all 1,500 of those, we still would not be bankrupting the town, and we can buy a whole bunch of variety over here. Ginger, we have a little bit of. I think we have enough to not worry about it. Honey, we're going to start using for healing poultices, and we can never seem to keep enough in here. That's the symbol. I don't see it. Is it at the bottom? It's down here at 100. So let's get 1,000 honey. Now, I'm going to do it the lazy way. Let's get 999. Well, there's only 3 placeholders after that 0, so you have to hit the delete button to get in there. And cherries we don't have. Refined sugar 2. We don't have any use for it yet. I don't know if they'll use it as a food if I buy it now, so I'll hold off on that. But cherries, let's grab some of those. 500. Strawberries, sure. 500 of those. What else do we have to sell that we want to get rid of? Roots, beans. Don't know if I have beans. I don't have beans in here yet. That's a newer crop. Oh, they haven't got it here yet. I do have it queued up. Tulips, there's lots. We haven't brought any over. Cucumber, there's lots. I haven't put them into the market yet. Feathers, coffee beans. I don't think I put coffee in here yet. I haven't found anything to make out of the coffee beans, so I guess they're just going to eat those as food. Be nice if there's some kind of a roasting house. Maybe that's coming in the next update. Chestnuts and cotton, onions, mushrooms. There we go. There's something we actually have in here. So there's 1,000 of each of those. So we'll work with that. So onions and mushrooms. So let's do a 999 of those and a 999 of those. Venison we're not going to touch. We're going to go ahead and convert that over. There it is right there. In fact, if none of this will go away. Okay, no surprises. I'm going to pop another butcher in. And we're good there. And we're going to start the... In fact, I'll leave this here so we can watch it happen. But getting back to this, we've got... Did I not do it? Overpaying by. Okay, I thought that was my total. There's my total, 3,500. So let's keep grabbing some other things here that are interesting. We're not planting squash, are we? Let's go back by name. I don't remember that seed being bought yet. No. Squash is one of those basic things you just kind of start with, and every time you play Banish, you end up planting squash, but we haven't got to it yet. It hasn't been the choice of the seeds whenever we've gotten to make a choice. I don't even see it on this list. There's a lot of choices here. Wow. I think D'Angela has recognized that we spent a lot of money on seeds, and he or she just keeps bringing more. Wow, there's a lot of choices. So squash we'll grab 500 of. Bread. From the baker. It's still a 1, so we'll go ahead and do that. Fruit cake, we'll do that. And figs, we'll do that. So where are we now? We must trade an additional 500. Okay. Well, fruit cake is a thing that you always... A few people like it a lot, and most everyone else doesn't. So, okay, we'll go ahead and take the fruit cake off. And $4.99. We good? We're good. And, alright, so there adds a huge variety to our foods. We'll hit trade. Before we dismiss, though, purchase. This is what I was thinking about. Alright, so this is just a basic categories of items that you can place an order on, regardless of who shows up. This was a grocer. So a green grocer is not going to provide these, but you're still allowed to place an order for these, no matter what vendor shows up. And that's what I wanted to verify. But silkworm eggs is too specific to land in this list. Right? Oh, that is the position. See, grains to me looks generic. So you're buying any grains of, you're asking for about any grains or any meats or any fruits or vegetables, but I'm still not seeing a category that would qualify something like silkworm eggs. So this isn't going to help us. So from the grocer, order from Darylyn, you can only order these items, which are foods. Looking for silkworm, so alphabetically silkworm is not going to be here. Squash, spinach, soybean, roots. Okay, so we do need to find someone who specifically sells, I think the category is fibers, so cloths and that sort of thing. Maybe you'll get cotton cloth as well as cotton itself, as well as silkworm eggs and silkworm cocoons, and maybe even the stuff that is made from the silk, actual silk itself, all from a particular vendor. So we have to wait for that vendor to show up. So we can dismiss Darylyn and go now to D'Angela. So of what we sold, we had enough of everything in here to replace it without bankrupting the town. That's why I have this up and running, just to verify that we got the flexibility to do that. Firewood is low, so we're not going to be able to spend 1,000 firewood down here. Is there a seed we really want to dive into right now? We've got still a long shopping list of projects to get done, so I don't see us setting up our baker industry or the mill and all that. So field mushrooms, what do you do with field mushrooms? Just popped into my mind. What were the other choices here? So wine, root, and glassware. Seed oil, that's interesting. So that may be sunflower seeds, canola seeds, not sure. Ginger and glassware. And vegetable oil. Okay, seed oil versus vegetable oil. Okay, ginger and glassware. All right. So mushroom doesn't show up in this list, is what I was curious about. See, I'm still learning the game too, right alongside many of you. Though some of you probably have the chance to play more than me, so you know much more. I'm stuck really just playing these episodes that you're watching in order to do a Let's Play series. If I were to play another game on the side to try to get better at it, I would spend all my time on this map confused. Now, we already built that, didn't we? Oh, no. That's my other game. Okay, let's go over to... Oh, that's right. We didn't build that here yet either. So I don't want to run another game on the side. I think I'd be too confused trying to keep track of what is in what map. So many of you folks are way ahead of me on this because I'm stuck doing just 45 minutes a day. I would love to sit here and do 4 or 5 hours a day. I like this game. But so that's the apothecary. So I was just curious what was with the mushrooms. So is there a seed here that we can't live without? Is there anything here like those herbs that we planted last episode? And it's ready. I'm going to get that going before we forget. Where are we? Late spring. It may still be possible to do this. Herbs. And pop in one person, take this down to 1, and we'll leave it as farmer pickup. We made it smaller for that. Okay, we'll leave that pinned just to remind us. Someone died. We're not going to get past the maintenance part of this episode, are we? So this is a catch-up episode. There's still a couple more things to talk about. Seeds. Oranges. That'd be fun. Carrots, tulips, olives. We got olives last time, so we can start playing with oil. So we need to get an oil press going in, or whatever the game's equivalent of that is. Pumpkins, barley, chickpea, watermelon. Watermelon are fun to look at when they grow. Alright, I want to do an orange. Let's do one of those. Let's get some orange trees going in. Can we afford it? We just took down most of our foods to get variety. I don't want to touch the venison. I'm going to take that out of the market completely. Herbs, looks like we've got a couple hundred of these to play with without harming ourselves. Lumber and pottery. Looks like we've built up our pottery again. How are we doing on pottery? We're alphabetical, so 0. Yeah. So we're still, because we've still got to get all of these shore houses going to get more clay coming in. Mulberry leaves we have lots of, so we could finish it with mulberry leaves, or come close to it. Let's put 1,000 mulberry leaves in. That's right. Back it all up, and 1,000. Okay. So what else is there that we don't really have a need for? We can get rid of some tulip leaves. And beans, we didn't use the beans and the broccoli because they hadn't arrived in the other trader yet. So we have access to these. So we need another 700. Let's do 350 and 350. There we go. Oh, overpaying by 100. So I miscounted there. Wasn't that 7? That's 7. I guess I miscounted the other one. Okay, we'll make this a 250. Alright, so we've got orange seeds and a planter. So let's just, well, we'll trade. We'll just verify that there is no way that a planter is going to bring us silkworm eggs. They're only dealing with seeds here. Yep. Okay. So that mystery is solved, or at least confirmed. So we're done here. Trade and dismiss. Shut this one down. Let's clean up what has finished while we were talking. And I did also want to address any other question marks. Okay, this one went away. That one's done. This one is going to be... where are you? Oh, you're right here, Taylor. Let's go ahead and prioritize that one, so next episode we can see the results of the advanced Taylor. So we'll kick that one up. The deer butcher has brought in the venison and is now making sausage. I like deer jerky. Venison jerky is so good. So, sausage, let's, for next time, add to here. We have a lot of items available to us now. Sausage. Let's pop that in so we can see what, or can we see what the value is going to be? Does it go to the bottom of the list? It does. Sausage only worth 1. So maybe only certain cuts have a value greater than the raw meat of the venison, the base meat. So sausage isn't it. So we'll see what else comes in and see what those values are. Sausage, we'll go ahead and kick that back down and we'll eat it ourselves. We want to start putting in foods that are greater than a value of 1 when we can. And so off camera I'll go through and throw one of everything that we have available in so that I can see what the values are and start making a list of what is a better trading item. We'll eat the 1s and we'll sell the 4s, for instance. Anyway, this is done. That plantation, I guess I can go ahead and kick our speed up now. We've got rid of at least the traders, which was a big distraction. Let's take it up to the 5 that we normally run out. This plantation is planting herbs. Yield 0. Maybe we missed. There we are. We're planting. So we'll try and stay long enough to see what sprouts out of this one. Meanwhile, shore houses are in. We have labor. We need clay, mostly. Tell you what, let me go down there. And so that I can say this is the clay region over here. So this one, clay, and add 1. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? It added the 1 down. Where did they add the 1? I'm going to turn work off on everything until... Yeah, it added the 1 down here, which is here. Okay, turn off work. Problem with all of them ready, well, you add 1 and it pops into another one clear over there. So let's specifically say I want this one to be clay, add 1, work. This one, Got too many open. It might be easier just to shut these guys down and then open up the one I actually want to work on. Okay, this guy. Add one. Work here. Make clay. This one. Clay. Work. Add one. And this one. Clay. Work. Add one. Still have 5 laborers after that. Nice. Let's tell these guys to give us some variety. I want turtles. Work. Add one. I want frogs. Frog legs. Work. Add one. Never eaten frog legs. I've heard they taste like chicken. And sand, just to kind of balance this out. We do have a glass works up there. I think we have a second one that's not being used, so we do need to get more sand going soon. But clay is our biggie at the moment. But anyway, sand, work, add one. Alright, we finally have a shore house industry capable of making some serious product. We're going to think about storage for our shore houses next time. We're coming up on the end of our episode, or just a little past. 8 people with question marks. Okay, what did I do? 8 people with question marks? Stonecutter. Oh! Did we just run out of stone? We just ran out of stone. To upgrade it, we need candles. We ran out of stone capacity, or stone production. This 100% has dropped to 0. We've got lots of stone, so we're not going to hurt for a while. But that kind of forced my hand. Next episode, we've got to get the storage going for all of our shore house industry, right in the middle there, and we've got to get the quarry upgraded, which means we need a chandelier. Sausage, venison cuts. So I need to pop that into the market and see what that value is. Maybe that's the one. I thought if there was jerky that would be made. Maybe that's next round. Maybe it's just beef that makes jerky. I thought the deer made jerky. What are you? Why have you got a question mark? Okay, I'm confused. Question mark means they don't know where their job is. But we have 1 of 1 here, and that hasn't changed. There are 3 people assigned for 4, because one of them isn't being used yet, the pig butcher. This one just didn't have any beef, but finally got some. Why? Oh, I bet you that's not for the building. If I unpaused it, that person's walking through. Aha! Okay, so for the moment, we're going to take down the stone workers so they can function more specifically as laborers. So stone cutters, we have 0 now. Now we've got a ton of laborers for next time. So next time, quarry, housing, chandelier, get the quarry upgraded, storage for the shore houses, and we still need to get back to our town arrival park. What I've decided to do with that. That was a maintenance issue to get done this episode, but boy, a half hour goes away quick. We still got to get coal going. We need to get an oil press, which is where? Food, kind of a specialized thing. Food refining sounds like the right idea. That's smoke, that is salt, that is sugar, that is canning, baking. Am I wrong? There it is. Oil press. Okay, so that's got to get done. So there's lots of stuff. Before we leave, and I'm paused, tulips, when I started the episode, or just before I started the episode, we're at 1325. If this is now making things that are not edible, that number should have gone up. We did trade out 100 tulips just now, but I've been on speed 1 and paused most of this episode, so I don't think that ever got replaced. So what is our town count for tulip leaves now? Just out of curiosity. Still have the great tulip mystery of Ramblington. Tulips now have gone up. Okay. But they've not gone up by, well, we didn't really have a full season. Yeah, we started in the winter, I think, and we never got through a full year. So we can't say that they should have gone up by this count. So there's still no answer. So next time we'll take another look at the tulip count, see if it goes up by whatever this turns out to be, the 900 and something. If it isn't 1325 plus the 900, maybe minus the 100 from the trader, then we'll know that they're still eating them, and coming out of a plantation doesn't disable the edible qualifier on them in the code. That is, a tulip is a tulip is a tulip. Doesn't matter where it comes from. At which time we'll probably turn off tulips for now because there's no real use for them, and we'll turn on something that does have use. You know, get a second cotton-like crop going and get two of those going here. So we'll have a cotton industry and a something else industry. Anyway, I could keep talking for the next hour. I'm going to call this one done. I'm going to leave this mess on the screen so we know where to pick up from next time. And this has been Noble Rambler. I thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe and the thumbs up down there below the video. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.